welcome to The Search with Lisa. I want to thank everybody for coming in tonight. If you are a new person, welcome, and I'm so glad to have you in here. I hope that you sit and listen and give it a chance, and hopefully you will subscribe. I upload every Thursday at 8 p.m. And if you turn on your notifications, it'll let you know if there's anything extra going on. And I appreciate you being here. If you are a returnee, thank you guys. I appreciate as we grow the search community and try to find justice. I only focus on unsolved cases. Every once in a while, I will throw in something different, but I'm mainly looking for unsolved missing people, unsolved murders, and even in trafficking, I cover. So if that's something that you're interested in or you might be interested in, give it a shot, sit back, listen to it, and leave any comments afterwards. That really helps out with anything that you think maybe needs improvement. Always be kind. I accept constructive criticism, but really, if you have any questions on the case or even have any info towards the case, that would be great. Also, remember, please be kind in the comments. The family could also be watching this and they could be looking in the comments. So please remember that as well. Let's get into the story tonight. We are going to be talking about Madalina Cojocari. She's an 11-year-old girl out of Cornelius, North Carolina. Lovely girl. Lovely girl. I want to talk to you a little bit as we get in this story. It's got some little twists and turns. There's a lot of details with dates and things like that. I'm going to go over some of the dates, but I thought as a listener, I've heard a little bit of stories here and there. I've done a lot of research and reading, and I think overall we want to know, okay, what has happened? What are the facts and where are we at now and how did we get there? Facts are important, but I just kind of want to just let you know, and I might go backwards on some things because this is a very, so many different things could have happened. And at the end of the day, we want to bring her back. Okay? Safe and sound. We want justice. This starts in 2022 in November. This is not an old case, folks. I want to just tell you just a little quick background. Diana is actually from Moldova. I believe I'm pronouncing that right, which is a very small country over around the Ukraine Russian area. While she was there, she actually was married and she had Madalina while she was there. Well, the marriage did not work out, and in 2014, the husband just kind of upped and abandoned her. There's a lot of history with the women over there. It's a population total of 3.5 million, and 1.5 million of them are women. From what I gathered, even though I think they're a little held back, they are very strong women and respectful. They really work hard and they take care of their children. It's a lot to read about. So if you want to do your research on that country, I tell you, you will learn a lot. That is where the mom is from. Going forward, the mom was an English translator, so she was like a teacher over there. Well, she got on a website, and that is actually how she met her current husband, which his name is Chris Palmiter. So her name is Diana, his name is Chris, and the daughter's name is Madalina. Okay. So anyway, they hit it off online. Long story short, she comes to America, and they're married. Now, is this a mail order bride? I don't know. I don't think that it was totally set up like that. I just think that they hit it off online. That is how it worked. But I don't have any exact evidence or factuals that that was the mail order bride service. So, I will say this, there's a 23-year age difference. I will tell you that. So, which isn't too bad, but there is an age difference. So it's kind of like, you know, Was it just supposed to be kind of a setup arranged marriage to get over here? Like I said, I'm not factual, but I think it's important to put this information in there. All right. So now we are moving forward. They are living in North Carolina. Actually, I will tell you that the husband, he is an engineer, and he ended up moving from Michigan down to North Carolina. So that is how they established residency in Cornelius, North Carolina. So that's how it all starts. In 2022, up until then, things had been okay. As we get into the story, we will hear kind of what neighbors have thought, neighbors have said, and people have said. But at the time in 2022, Madalina was 11 years old and she was in sixth grade. She was known as, just a sweet little girl. She attended her classes and, they lived in a very nice neighborhood, nice area. There wasn't a lot of high crime around where they were at. I'm going to kind of get into what has gone on with Madalina, and then we'll go backwards instead of going date for date. All right. Now, I will say this, it all starts around November 23rd. Okay. But I'm going to move forward and I'm going to get to December 14th. All right. So I'm going to move forward about 3 weeks. About 3 weeks around from that time period, around Thanksgiving, till about the 14th or 15th, the counselor and the resource officer had noticed that she had not been in school. Now, I want to tell you, in North Carolina, I am from North Carolina. I went to school here also. Their truancy laws are very strict here. And you have to be in school. If you miss more than a certain amount of days, there has to be, reasons. They will check up on you until you are 16 years old. I will tell you this. If you just leave and don't go to school for a week or two, your parents can be charged. Absolutely, you can be in trouble. It is very important that you go to school at least till you're 16. Of course, graduate, folks. But I'm saying this is how this all starts. And I wonder if these types of laws were not in place, what would have happened? So, I want to tell you about the counselor, Miss Lampkin. All right. She's like, hey, I'm noticing she's not here. So she calls. All right. She calls Diana. And she's like, look, we haven't seen, little Miss Madalina. And we need to meet with you to come in and find, we need to talk to you about this. And please bring her, with you. So Diana's like, okay, I will. I'll come the next day, which I believe is on the 14th. Diana goes into the school counselor without Madalina. She reveals that she has not seen her since November 23rd. Can you imagine what these people are thinking? They're expecting to hear this excuse of why she hasn't been in school. They're expecting Madalina to come in with her. What is going on? They report. They call the police. Yeah, they're calling the police. We need to find out what is going on here. All right. So at this time, they call, and this is how it goes. She says on November 23rd, Diana, that Madalina goes to her room as mom Diana argues with the stepdad. That was around 10 p.m. Now, let me back up. When she first talked about not seeing Madalina, she says that the last time she'd seen her was around 12 o'clock that day. So it changes. All right. So first story, I guess, when she's telling the counselors, it's like 12 o'clock. By the time she makes it to telling her story to the police, she says it's the 23rd that night, and she's arguing with her husband, and she goes on to bed at 10. That's the last time. So, the 24th, which is the next day, all right, it is now Thanksgiving. Chris drives up to Michigan. About 11:30 a.m. on Thanksgiving, Diana realizes that Madalina is not in her room and doesn't report her missing. All right? Doesn't report her missing. On the 26th of November, Christopher arrives back home about 7 p.m. or so, they said. Tells Diana he doesn't know where Madalina's at either. Diana doesn't report her then either, fearing it would spark conflict with husband. What? See, all this is being questioning now. We've done lost 3 weeks of where Madalina is at. She claims basically that she felt that when they had that argument that night, that when she got up and he was gone, she just assumed that he had taken Madalina with her to go to Michigan, up to his like family up there. Like she went with him. Didn't call to verify. We're going to talk a little bit about that soon. But didn't call to verify, like, look, I know we had an argument whenever you left. I'm just like, why didn't you let me know that you were taking Madalina with you? I would have liked to have talked to her before you left, make sure you had what you needed, and when do you expect coming back? Right, moms? Right, parents? Am I not feeling, am I only feeling this? No confirmation. So when he gets back, he's like basically asking her the same thing. Well, where is she? She wasn't with me when I left here. She was here. She'd went to bed that night. I left, went to Michigan. Where was she? Moving forward now, they're both like, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. Still, though, they didn't know, but yet did not report her. At this time, in order to get the ball rolling, both of them are saying, like, we didn't know. The cops are not getting these answers. They're in the middle of getting the investigators involved. All this is unraveling. So at the time, they were able to arrest them for not reporting a missing child. So at that time, because you got to be careful with that. They don't want to automatically charge something, so at least they could grab that, which I thought, okay, at least we're getting them. So at that time, the bail was set for the mom for $250,000 on that Tuesday, while the stepdad, Chris, was set for $200,000. It's not known if they remained in custody at this time. It was talking about then. But on Monday, authorities expanded their searches in areas to include a lake near Cornelius, which is about 30 minutes from the Charlotte area. The Cornelius Police Department did not respond or repeat requests for like any comments. They've got him arrested at this time. What I mean by didn't know if they had stayed, it was during the research. The resources that I use with the news, they weren't quite sure at the time, had one of them got out or anything yet when this particular search I'm going to talk about goes on. Police say Madalina is 4'10" tall, weighs approximately 90 pounds, and has brown hair and brown eyes. The 11-year-old was last seen wearing her jeans, pink, purple, and white Adidas shoes, a white t-shirt, and a jacket. They expanded their search area outside of the home of Madalina's where she was last seen at. One thing I want to tell you is before all this, because there's so many different dates, times, this. All right. They went in the house. I want to tell you. They went in the house. And when they went in the house to search, they found where there was plywood up in the kitchen, which was under a business contract, claimed that they were like doing something to make it like a separate apartment. That's what they were doing. There was, I guess, like documents for that. By December 16th I want to tell you this. The FBI was brought in and they continued to search. They found the girl's backpack and some clothes missing. So December 17th was actually the rest of the parents for to get the exact date. December 19th, Chris was in court, like I told you earlier, on a $200,000 bond, and she was on a $250,000 bond while they were searching the lake there in Lake Cornelius near Charlotte. Police went in there back in the home, all right? They came out and they had about a bin of evidence, one bin of evidence, about 40 items. They were looking for cell phones, text messages, body fluids, blood, basically anything that could tie. I will tell you this, when they were able and looked in the car of Chris, one thing that was noticed was that he had the passports of Madalina and Diana, to get back overseas. So, very interesting that he had all their stuff kind of together. Like, why? Why did you have, were you like stopping them from trying to leave? With that all being said, things that they found on December 28th, surrendered both passports, no action. So what they had to do was they were going to let, I know, Chris out at the time, but everybody was to surrender passports. They make sure they could not leave, could not get out of the country. They weren't allowed. So that happens a lot when anytime you've been charged, especially with any felony charges, stuff like that, and especially with things like this going on, they do have you surrender things. So, on December 30th, I will tell you, they executed search warrants that wasn't available to the public view. So, we didn't get to see or hear exactly everything that they got. Now, that was to, of course, protect the investigation. I want to move forward to April 14th of 2023. They actually had some charges with possession of different drugs, things like that. But I will tell you there was insufficient evidence. All that was dropped July 6th. So that didn't really hold up. July 18th, though, there was a release of 190-page sealed documents relating to the search. So, guys, there has been a lot of information being done, a lot being held. I'm going through this and then we're going to discuss it overall and recap and theorize, okay? Both pled not guilty. They were released on 25,000 bond with ankle bracelets and supervision. There is a video also that can be seen on November 21st where she's getting off the bus. So that shows us publicly the last time she really had been seen. Everything else is hearsay. Nobody, claims to have seen her, anything like that. We're going off of what the mom says, but visually we see her on the bus there. And I want to say it's like late in the day, I want to say 4-ish, close to 5 actually, on the bus. So now all this information's out. I know it might have been a little wonky me telling, but I just kind of wanted to get things out there so we could discuss this case. Because it's just a different type of case, okay? So basically, the last time she is seen is getting off the bus. Other than that, we don't know anything else. All we know is that Diane claims there was an argument, thought her daughter left. Anyway, Chris goes to Michigan, and then when he comes back, he's like, no, she wasn't with me, but yet there was no connection, or talking or anything like that. Once they get back, realize she's missing, they still do not report her. So what I want to know is what's going on in between these times, right? Why they're not. Also, I want to bring to your attention that the reason that she got reported was because of the truancy issue from the resource, and bless those angels, there for doing their job and paying attention that she had not been in school. That is the only reason she was reported. Okay? So keep that in mind. Speaking with neighbors, you start thinking back what happened during those weeks as far as like the neighbors. Like we didn't hear anything, missing thing. So one neighbor comes back and says, you know what? There was a time during that 2 weeks, before she was reported missing. Remember the 2 weeks that, like, what was going on? Nobody reported her missing. That there was flames and smoke coming from the home. And I believe that even, like, they had to even call someone out there. I'm not for sure, but I know that it was extensive and it ended up being like a burning couch cushion. So it was like some furniture, little extreme for this type of neighborhood. I don't know if they had like HOA fees, but with this type of house, I could see there being fees. It is a very nice house, as you'll see. Burning a couch in the backyard is not exactly what you would do in a neighborhood, so a little odd. But like I said, when you're not thinking things wrong, you're just thinking like, why is he doing it? But then now you're thinking, why is he doing it? Okay. Looking into what went on during those 2 weeks. Well. Looks like the mom also did some traveling, not just the dad. The mom is actually seen up around in the mountains in Madison County, okay, in the North Carolina mountains. Actually, a police officer even sees her, like, pulled over and kind of makes like a talk with her at Lonesome Road at Highway 25. Now, did she do something to, because she doesn't get a ticket or anything like that, to maybe like just to almost create her own alibi, you know? Almost like, it would ring in the cops like she was up there, or, and when I say by alibi, why would she want to be known like your kid is missing? Why are you in the mountains? Okay? And she had some family up there. She knew some people up there. But why are you traveling? Okay? Why are you traveling up there? And why would you, if there was something bad going on, why wouldn't you talk with the cops? I don't know. Thought was very weird. So anyway, the point is that she was seen up there. Now, she actually even went and got like her car. I think she went and got like an oil change done, something like that. And the person that worked on her car made the comment that there was toys and kid stuff in there, but they did not see a kid. They did not see the kid in there at the time. So this is where we have it. This little girl was last seen on the bus, and no one knows exactly what happened from there. But these are some things that have been discussed, and also a couple of things that I want to bring to you. A distant relative, I believe, of Diana's said that he had received a call from her, okay, and I believe text messaging too, which has been looked at. Like I said, things have been sealed in the investigation. She had not been charged or anything. They had the not reporting, remember that. But this cousin, or, like cousin, he is saying that the mom had requested to help smuggle her and her daughter out of there. I don't know what she meant by smuggling, whether it was to get them back out of the country. I don't see her wanting to go back to Moldova. I don't see that. But I see like maybe does she mean help them disappear? Help them, get out? You got to remember she is a foreign woman in this country, that she hasn't been here that long. She didn't get over here, I think, till 2015. She'd only been here a few years. More and more is coming out. This guy also, is 23 years older than her. He's like 60, and she's 37, I believe. And it sounds like he did have some control over her, that there was some issues like that. Now that things were coming out of people she had kind of talked to, sounds like she was a little scared. She's been through some tough times. She got out of a bad area overseas, made her way here. She's a fighter, and she's not known as a bad individual at all. She had her head on straight. She almost doesn't fit the profile of somebody that would hurt their daughter. And like I said, this is allegedly, but more the reading and even listening to some other people, like, I think everybody's kind of questioning, this is one of the theories. Did she take Madalina up to the mountains and get her safe? Because I'll show you what it all looks like up there. You can definitely dip off. Now, this is the thing, you can dip off and definitely hide, put someone up. There's been cases, quite a few, where the North Carolina mountains where people have hid out. It is a lot of land, a lot of areas where you can really hide in there. So, while he was gone, did she make some trips? Did she hurry and get stuff together and go and do something to protect Madalina? And then maybe she was like on her way to do it and was trying to figure out, I don't know. Was she, maybe if she did that, was the plan to almost plan it on Chris, that he took her with him and almost frame him for it? And then maybe things messed up. Maybe she panicked. Maybe because she is not familiar with some American laws as far as school, she did not think that the school would be so involved. She knew that the holidays were coming up. There was going to be a break for the holidays, and maybe that's when she was going to make her move. That is a theory, guys. Also, there had been rumored within the family that she was sold into the trafficking for, I want to say, 5 million was said. Now, they did look at, because he was making money, he was an engineer, he did well, so he maybe wasn't doing as well as we thought. Maybe he was caught up in some drug issues and whatever was going on, you never know. Or they have said that there was no proof of any sex trafficking ring. Doesn't have to be a ring. Who's to say that Chris basically got her here from another country, you know? Because remember, he had her passports and everything up, like as if, what were you gonna do? Just make them all disappear, right? Like one by one, you start with one and gonna move to the next. But did he go and sell her off for any amount of money or take her into, the trafficking? This is a theory. They have been looking at everything. There is, of course, the theory that something happened and she was unalived and possibly could have been put in the Cornelius Lake area. That could be the answers. But this is the deal, guys. They're looking into it and they have hope that she's still alive. Remember, there is sealed documents that we haven't seen. There is evidence that we haven't seen. Captain Thomas saying, listen, this is wide open. We are looking into, we are continuing this. And when I tell you that they have done massive searches, I mean, they've been in the lakes, they have not found anything, that they have announced that is related to her. Nothing, on the property. As of today, they have not been charged with her disappearance. Like, they were charged with the not reporting, but not the disappearance, which I do find that interesting. I do. Sometimes these things do take a long time. I also find it interesting that you sometimes don't hear the police and FBI and the tend to be as hopeful this time after. There is hope that she is still alive. So, guys, it is real important in this case that we look at this picture of her, that we look like all when we're in the mountains, wherever we are, Michigan areas, North Carolina area, look look for her. Look second glances if you see something that someone that looks like this, because there is a chance that this child possibly is alive. She's either unfortunately in some type of traffic ring, and in that case it could be anywhere. I have said other times when I talk about these cases, what do they do to people? They strip them of their passports, their IDs, everything to try to control them, right? That's what they do. That was such bells going off when they were finding everything in one to me and to them. It was mentioned. For them to bring it out, that means that it was an alarm for them, a red flag for them. One thing that I wanted to bring up that I also felt was something important, and to know that one of the laws in North Carolina was one to do it about reporting immediately, especially that you would be charged if not. That actually came from the Casey Anthony trial for Kaylee's Law. I just thought that that was important because we discussed that about why they were charged, and it's because of that law right away. So, like I said, there is a lot of different theories of if they did something to her, if the mom was trying to hide her, did the dad go and sell her and the mom was trying to figure things out without involving the law? She is scared. She doesn't, have her passport with her. She has been stripped. Is she intimidated? There's all different things. I want to know what y'all think. Do you think that they possibly are responsible for everything and we're trying to work things out? There is proof she was in the mountains. There is proof that he was in Michigan when this was going on. And what do you think would have happened had the school system never got involved? Do you think that eventually she would have reported, or like maybe the truth would have come out? I don't know. I don't know. This case really resonated with me. Again, when I hear anything that possibly could be involved, 11 years old, definitely idea people will pay money for trafficking, for selling, for buying it. 11-year-old, it just makes me sick. Unfortunately, these stories need to be told. This was kind of a whirlwind, guys. It was a little here and there patchy, but you kind of had to say things before you could say other things to make it make sense. The bottom line is we still do not know where Madalina Cojocari is today. Before I end any episode, I do what I call a prayer ribbon. And this is Madalina Cojocari. She was 11 years old, last seen November 23rd, 2022. And I put them on this board. All these represent someone with their cases unsolved, and we need justice. Guys, this concludes the episode of Madalina Cojocari. I will leave any information that you'll need where you can call will be linked down below in my description, and I will see y'all on the next search.